Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Everybody, MLK Day, happy MLK Day, happy MLK Day, happy MLK Day. Shout out to the MLK, baby. All right. You guys already know what we're here to get into. Before we get into it, go ahead and thumb up the video until it's absolutely stuck. You guys know that thumbing up the video not only helps the YouTube algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you guys are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary. While you guys are also doing that, shout out to all the new subbies. Make sure that you guys have your notification bell set to all. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community wall, your Instagram, your Facebook, your Snapchat, now your TikTok, which is back, or the doc side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you lay the link. Just let them who know that we're loud, we're live, and we're certainly in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let me go ahead and speak to the Conscious crew before we get started. Happy MLK Day, Tanika, Aaron, Art by Omni, Chitty Chitlins, Valerie, hey, Ken Goddess, hey, baby mother, what's going on? Gray Yes Garden, or Grace Yes Garden, what's going on? Arenda, hey, Iron Gardner, hey, Coco, what's going on? Topaz, hey, Chowder, Shenando, what's going on? S Sweet, what's going on? Miss BB, hey Tammy, what's going on? Love, what's going on? Sin, what's going on? Hold on, what's going on? In Namdi, what's going on? Lavon, hey Shayla, hey y'all thumbs up, whether y'all are part of the Replay gang, whether y'all bush babies or whether y'all actively in these chats. Y'all know the King has been busting it down the middle, girl, for 2025, baby. We've been working since the new year. And I am so proud of the work ethic. All right, now this ain't gonna be a long video, but it's gonna be a good video, child. And this video was inspired by the demented ass Barbz who took up an issue. We'll get into that, child. Also, I did get a request to give commentary on the Ziyah case, which is happening. We're going to get into all of that. Once again, I don't have a lot to say. It's a pretty self-explanatory situation, and I already wrote up a post on my community wall, which will pretty much be my commentary. But before we even get into the Ziyah case, let's get first and foremost into the Kenneth Petty and Nicki Minaj case, okay? Because that's what really prompted this video. Let me address the Nicki Minaj dick riders first and foremost. Them conehead ass Barbz got so triggered when I slid Nicki Minaj's delinquent ass husband right into my talking points about the raggedy mammies like her botched bootied ass, who are no different than the morally corrupted piss poor bitches like Ziyah's auntie, who knowingly plucked a man from a turkey drive who was already spoken for and decided to marry and procreate with him, knowing that the only parent-teacher conference he could attend was via Zoom or StreamYard link, all because Nicki couldn't resist dick and dizziness. Now she out here using GAG City proceeds to pay his restitution and several child support installments to the multiple bastard children that other dizzy-ass mammies gave him in the name of a piece of a man is better than no man at all. Then to be delusional enough as a Barb to justify Kenneth raping a 16-year-old girl by stating he was a teenage boy at the time himself is the most dizziest shit I've ever heard, considering that he was charged and convicted by the state of New York because he was old enough to know what the fuck he was doing, while also pleading guilty to his crimes. So why the fuck are you defending a nigga who didn't even defend himself once he realized the feds had all the evidence, including the weapons in question, as well as the results of the grape kit Jennifer took, yet you mad? And bringing up Larry Reed will never be a trump card in order to get me to comply with the pedophilic cultism of GAG City, because unlike Kenneth, Larry Reed has never been sued, charged, nor convicted for any crime alleged against him, while also suing his accusers and winning against them in court for defamation, while being exonerated by the evidence presented. So until Larry ends up next to Kenneth Petty, Dwayne Youngblood, R. Kelly, and the likes, I will continue to support him at my leisure, as he has not been found liable of any criminality against another human being. And I will therefore continue to call out the criminality of men who got to report to the government annually for their yearly Polaroid, like Kenneth Petty, because of the sexual violence they've inflicted upon their victims. Now, if the best you can do is sit in my comment section with your weird ass and support registered rapists instead of helping to get your mother off food stamps and public transportation, then that mother clearly felt you and her own pussy for dispelling such a low-grade incel out of her crotch, you funky pussy dog-faced bitch. Spending your utility check to attend a Nicki Minaj concert so you can vogue in front of a bunch of other traumatized ballroom rejected ass queens in hopes of being posted on social media and seen by a bitch who couldn't even see you from the front row should not be your highest aspiration as an adult, you cumcrot. Defending a registered rapist murderer whose own wife can't keep the courts from binding his ass to 120 days of house arrest in the guest room of his own home is just sheer embarrassing, ho. I mean, you whore's existence is literally sheer comical and embarrassing. It's even more of a cackle that y'all are not even aware of how dreadful of a fashionless fashion show you cock-blowing hoes are. I will stay on Kenneth's neck for as long as he stays on the registry. And according to the government, that's going to be for life, especially since him and his obtuse built bitch couldn't even persuade Jennifer to recant her 1994 allegations that were backed up by the feds. So instead of crying about your queen marrying a Bed-Stuy bum, how about you remind that bitch to get her goddamn green card before Trump ships her goofy ass back to the slums and sugarcane fields of Trinidad, which also should result in Kenneth finally getting a goddamn job and contributing to the American economy instead of grifting off bitches with a Section 8 housing voucher, because his New Year plans prior to Nicki was simply finding a blow-up mattress in some bitch's living room to take rest on after raping and murdering innocent ass people. You fucktard. Now, bywig. Nah. Let's move forward and get into the Ziyah Harris situation, because I got a quick little commentary for that as well. Matter of fact, we gonna pull up a few articles, baby. Oh, yes. And we're going to get into the things. Check this out, courtesy of Click on Detroit News Network.
Child today alleging sexual abuse by the same man accused of killing 13-year-old Ziyah Harris. And we're learning of new DNA analysis that could determine whether Jarvis Butts goes on trial for murder. Sean Lay following today's hearing for us. And Sean, this chilling case, it just keeps getting worse and worse as we learn more.
Chilling is a good way of putting it. Stomach turning also. Every witness, every hour here at the court. Here's what's new about this today. This is the first time we're hearing the voice of Jarvis Butts. He is 41 years old. He is accused of the sexual abuse and murder of a 13-year-old girl named Ziyah Harris. She was related to one of Butts' many girlfriends, and he called Ziyah his niece. The teen was last seen with Butts after school last January 9th. Then Ziyah Harris went missing. Police brought Butts in for this interrogation during a search for her, where Butts told police everything he knew about the girl was on his cell phone that police seized during a search warrant. You have to listen very closely to pick up what Butts is saying, but he says he has nothing to hide.
Everything is in my phone. Y'all have possession of my phone. Take a look at it. Go through it. So I don't know what that's just. I don't know what she said.
A co-worker of Butts testified that Butts and Ziyah Harris were at their auto repair shop the evening Ziyah Harris vanished. But Butts told investigators the last time he saw Ziyah was weeks before.
Yes, he stated to me that he had last seen her at the end of December or early January, sometime at the grandmother's house getting her hair done.
Okay. And did he say anything about knowing where Ziyah's bus stop was?
Yes.
Okay. What did he say about that?
He said that her bus stop was at a 3-mile drive in Cornwall.
Back here live outside 36th District Court. Keep in mind, everyone, this is not a trial. It's a preliminary examination to see if a judge will move Butts on to face a murder and sexual assault trial. It's going to continue tomorrow. What's happening here is that there's no body to point to. Ziyah Harris's remains have never been found, so prosecutors are taking the time to link every dot they can to this defendant. We'll be here tomorrow. They'll also be streaming live on Local 4 Plus. Check it out because it is eye-opening. Live.
All right. Now let's get into some more.
Well, we begin tonight with a heart-wrenching update in the search for Ziyah Harris. Thank you for joining us for 7 News Detroit. The 13-year-old girl went missing this past January as she was getting off the school bus. Today, Detroit police and the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office announcing they believe Ziyah was murdered by a 41-year-old man who had allegedly been molesting her for years. He now faces a long list of charges, including first-degree murder. 7 News Detroit reporter Sarah Michaels inside the Wayne County Criminal Justice Center as police outlined what they believe happened to Ziyah. She joins us with the disturbing allegations and why families say this investigation needs to continue.
You look at that face and you do not see the horrors that she had gone through in her short life.
This photo of a smiling, seemingly happy Ziyah Harris is believed to be the last one ever taken.
She is smiling and waving and saying hello. But that she was really saying goodbye.
Hours after it was taken on January 9th, the 13-year-old got her school bus to Detroit and vanished. Now, 9 months later, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office is charging this man, 41-year-old Jarvis Butts, with murdering and sexually abusing her.
We did everything we could. They called the police on us.
Ziyah's great aunt and her cousin tell me family knew about the abuse since 2022. The young girl lived with her grandmother. They say they called Child Protective Services multiple times and nothing was done.
And they swept it up under the rug. Well, I don't get in my kids' business. We're going to handle it. I'm saying you can't handle it. The proper authorities need to handle it. She did nothing.
According to Detroit police, Butts had access to Ziyah because he and Ziyah's aunt had children together.
Mr. Butts targeted and befriended women who had to have sexual relationships with their young daughters.
The prosecutor's office says there is a flood of evidence against Butts, including sexual photos between him and Ziyah, people seeing them together the afternoon that she disappeared, texts showing that they planned to meet up, and texts of Ziyah telling Butts that she was pregnant. Then search history from Butts looking for abortion methods.
How do a 13-year-old girl walk around your house pregnant and you don't know it?
Not only is Butts being charged with Ziyah's murder, he is in custody right now on a different case, and he is also being charged with more counts of criminal sexual conduct regarding 2 other girls under the age of 13 when they were allegedly abused. 7 News Detroit doesn't typically show mugshots, but we're showing this one in case there are any other victims out there. Ziyah's body has never been found. She should have turned 14 earlier this month.
For that there'll only be one person being charged is insulting. It's multiple people involved. This is not enough. It could have been prevented years ago.
Butts is scheduled to be arraigned on Friday. We'll keep you updated throughout this trial. In Detroit, Sarah Michaels,
All right, so that's the case in a nutshell. And as I said on my community wall, which I'm just going to reiterate here. So nobody but me is going to talk about the way that pretty and handsome privilege plays a dominant role in low self-esteem, lust-driven adults letting their guards down with known criminally penalized offenders, resulting in the sexual exploitation and oftentimes murder of the kids in their lonely ass custody. The Ziyah Harris case is a prime example of why people do not care for individuals like Dwayne Youngblood and Kenneth fucking Petty, because oftentimes they cannot be reformed, at least not through traditional healing and treatment methods. Yet, out of people's own selfish sexual and emotional needs, will open their homes and lives to these predators who already have been convicted, making the harm of these children inexcusable and completely preventable. Ziyah's abuser was a known registered child rapist, and because he had attractive features and is clearly seen as fine as hell based on the comments across social media from women who was allowed, because he is attractive, to be trusted, which led to what we can assume now was a very violent and intentional end of a 13-year-old girl who not only may have become pregnant by her abuser, but she also was given a STD by that abuser. Since goofy, immature adults can't seem to think beyond their hormones and loneliness, even for the sake of the children, what the law needs to do is simply criminalize the enablers as well when found liable of indirectly facilitating proximity between children and convicted offenders, because I think this will crack down severely on these types of tragedies. Registered offenders are given particular specific stipulations and prohibitions, and not only should the offender abide by them, but those who act as relatives and spouses are allowed, okay, to marry and carry on with their lives. Hold on, I done fucked up my reading. But those who act as relatives and spouses to these perpetrators should be held equally to such. Since offenders are allowed to marry and carry on with their lives in respect to their stipulations, community members should have legal stake in making sure these offenders don't end up in proximity of children, whether that be the church, in their families, schools, neighborhoods, and homes. When the law makes the community just as criminally responsible as legally responsible, a lot of these monsters will have less opportunity to use their loved ones and these desperate ass, heathenistic, horny ass male and female hoes to get access to the kids that are in their range. The law also needs to mandate psychotherapy and even chemical castration to men and women proven guilty of these crimes to better reduce the urges that lead to violent expression upon these young people. This issue is a failure of our criminal justice system, and it reveals the areas of mental health neglect in our community that lead to goofy adults accidentally aiding and abetting in tragic events like this one. The mind of someone who would develop an intimate relationship to a known abuser and be willing to have children with Nicki Minaj and allow children to be amidst such a person is a case study all by itself that should not be overlooked by the community nor the system. This shit is sad, it's tragic, it's demonic, pathetic, and arguably preventable. The sins of America KKK runneth the hell over. Now, if any of y'all have a lot to say about this case, what we can do is come back and do a panel discussion if y'all want. If y'all good, then we can move along with the day. But if y'all are really eager to speak out and to speak about this situation, give me a 1 if you want me to come back and open up the panel and drop the link for y'all to sound off. If not, you ain't got to put nothing in the chat. Because if y'all good, I'm good. But there's going to have to be some massive revisions and reform from the law to really crack down on this situation. And the community is going to have to go out of their way to ensure that everybody in neighborhoods where there are convicted registered offenders are aware of where these offenders are. Even make the young people in those communities aware of the ex-offenders in their community. And you can literally show them the diagram and outline of the community. You can pull up your own community on Google and see where all of the registered SAs are around you, half a mile out from you, etc. Young people need to be sat down with their guardians and their parents and informed so that they too can have a risen awareness that makes them more likely to not engage with strangers, to not get in the vehicle with, to not walk off, to not be coerced. Into talking, speaking with, and engaging with people they do not know. And if you know that someone in your community or in your family who you have a relationship to is in relationship to somebody who happens to be a registered SAer or who have been convicted for sexual crimes, that needs to be a whole conversation. A whole conversation. In your family, it needs to be a whole conversation. In your household, it needs to be a whole conversation. Because what happened to this young girl could have been prevented. It's sad that her aunt and her cousin, their efforts to raise awareness, to get CPS involved, were to no avail. The grandma was passive, and the baby mama, whose baby daddy this was, whose boyfriend this was, that Jarvis intentionally sought relationship to just so that he can get access to her children, baby, as everybody's saying in the chat, they need to round up everybody's ass in the paddy wagon. And it's terribly sad that CPS and Child Protective Services of all kinds felt this family who reached out to them to protect a child. Baby, this system is so fallen, and Trump is out here trying to fucking bring back TikTok, baby. What we gonna do about reforming the criminal justice system? What we gonna do about reforming CPS? This is a particular career field where there are people being overworked and highly underpaid. Baby, I don't give a damn if they got to get AI up in this motherfucking shit. But these CPS workers are assigned 30 kids per person in some instances. One person does not have enough wherewithal and bandwidth to meticulously study, nor have the emotional capacity to be invested in that many cases assigned to them. And this is why there's so much neglect and abandonment in the CPS system. If y'all have not watched I forgot the young boy's name, out in California. I did a review for the documentary on Netflix. The young boy who was tortured and ultimately unalived at the hands of his mama and her demonic ass boyfriend. Imagine being so pressed about a bitch who married to a sex offender while you stuck in my comment section and instead of going sucking dick behind a barbecue grill on MLK Day. Imagine being that pressed. Imagine being a bitch named Tiffany with no Chanel to show for herself. Imagine being pressed about another bitch's sexually registered deviant ass husband instead of going and find her own piece of man and waking up to a dick in her mouth. Imagine. Just imagine. Just imagine. Imagine. Imagine being so pressed, baby. Imagine being so hurt, baby. Imagine supporting somebody who got to report down to the LAPD police precinct every goddamn 3 months. To register, baby, to the feds without a haircut and an iPhone 12 in his pocket for his violent offenses, baby. Imagine. Just imagine. Imagine celebrating a murderous sex offender on Martin Luther King Day. Imagine. I mean, imagine it. Imagine. Imagine, baby, being that hurt. Imagine, baby, your blood pressure being that high. Imagine advocating more for Kenneth Petty than you even do your ancestors who gave you the freedom and the luxury and the liberty of being in this motherfucking chat. Just imagine. Imagine it. Imagine being a bitch named Tiffany Chanel DMing a bitch named Nicki Minaj in hopes that she will support her getting a liquid BBL. Imagine. Imagine. Just imagine that on MLK Day, DMing Nicki Minaj to help her fund your liquid BBL. Just imagine. Imagine it. And these are how the Barbz embarrass the hell out of themselves. Baby, imagine supporting a bitch who being sued for assault and battery, who owes another German security officer $500,000 for assault and battery, having her damn GAG city checks garnished, and you up in here supporting a man with 2,700 mugshots, baby. The nigga got more mugshots than a high school does class reunion pictures, baby. The man got more motherfucking mugshots than a high school yearbook hoe. Okay? Kenneth Petty is the most photographed D-list celebrity in history. And you pressed and you upset. And would rather stand behind a Dusty than to help raise awareness about the men like him that are more liable to assault a bitch like you than they are me. Because women are the ones more susceptible to these types of disadvantages and these type of violences and offenses. Just imagine being a woman advocating for a man who abuses women. Imagine. Imagine. Imagine being a ballroom reject, but being birthed by a woman and more than likely supported and raised by a woman, only to turn around and support a woman who supports and made rich and famous a known female abuser. Imagine that. Imagine defending a man who's more likely to drag your niece, your daughters, your little cousins into a back alley or to pack their ass up in a white minivan to be trafficked all up and through and out of the country to never be seen again. Just imagine being a raggedy, two-timing, backwards, upside down, pussy popping, broke bitch like Tiffany Chanel. Just imagine. Imagine being that level of a sellout. Imagine being to that degree a whole raccoon. Imagine that. And then imagine it on MLK Day. Imagine it. And imagine supporting a bitch who wanted this for her brand. Now that is a gag. Imagine. So since y'all sounded off and y'all want a panel, I'm going to close this down and I'm going to restart it because I know how y'all get carried away, baby. Y'all like to be up here for hours and things, okay? So let me just go ahead and shut down my initial commentary. Check the platform back in 5 minutes. It's going to be an open panel. We're going to come up and discuss this heinous and tragic story. You guys will be able to sound off, speak to any aspect of this. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Make sure you guys thumbs up, share this stream out. If you enjoyed yourself, y'all already know what to do, baby. Donate to Cash App, $Consciouztv, spelled just how it is on the platform, and or PayPal.me/Consciouztv, spelled just how it is here on the platform. Email me all the tea at Consciouztv@gmail.com. Follow me on Patreon as well as Instagram at Consciouztv. And I will be right back. Bye.